And then on other sites, it'll be, I'll acquire the real estate. I won't make money on the real estate. It'll be a slight loss, but I'll get my business, I'll find a location that I want for my business. And we are developing 40, this brand's called Lane's Chicken Fingers across West Texas through San Antonio and Corpus Christi. And as a guy who loves doing real estate deals, if I'm building 40 stores, I get to do 40 real estate deals. Maybe you double that if you kind of look at the acquisition and the uh, and the sale of said site.
Okay. So
Disposition is the word I was looking for.
this is
Um,
so
not
so
distribution.
let's no let's start. So maybe like, can you give an example of like what's a typical deal look like, right?
Yeah,
Start
it'd
with
be
hiring
hard.
the land. You go and you. Why don't we do
Yep,
one where it's like you buy like a shuttered KFC for example, right?
yep.
And then like what does that look like? And then high level you put in a lanes in there, just give us some high level financials if you don't mind.
Sure. So the best one that I'm doing, I paid $900,000 for a site right by Texas Tech's campus in Lubbock. Building was built in the early 2000s, so it's not that old.
Okay.
We will put in our own kitchen, put in our branding around the dining room, the FF&E, all of that. I think that'll cost probably 800 grand. So we'll be in that
Okay.
site for 1.7. I think it's easily worth 2.5, depending on where we set the rent. So in that scenario, I've acquired a site. I will actually make money on the real estate, and I have a new restaurant right by Texas Tech's campus that I think is going to perform really well. College kids love fried chicken.
Love
Uh,
fried chicken.
yeah, we got the Lubbock High School is a block away too, which is a couple thousand students. So great
And then
location. That's my best buy. I have
okay.
another
So
site that I paid.
oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Could I pause you there for a moment? So
You
okay.
can.
So then you're okay. So I just want to break this down. So 900 for the land or for land, 800 to fit it out, refit it out. You're in for 1.725 an ARV concept, right? So it's going to work 2.5 based. Excuse me, based on the rent that your business that you own is paying there. So you have a lot of flexibility there, right? You can charge yourself a dollar
Yep.
a year. You can charge yourself $1 million a year, right? And that's obviously gonna have a big impact on the value of that real estate. So I guess like for investors, like how do they think about that? And is this something where it's like, are you selling it to yourself and leasing it back? Like, just kind of curious on that structure.
Yeah. Well, I guess the first thing I would say is these brands trade generally. A portfolio of fast food restaurants going to trade at a lot lower multiple than a single tenant net
Mm,
lease piece of real estate. So if you say that the business is worth a 6x, even if the property, and it's not going to, but let's just keep it simple and say it sells for a 10 cap, which is a 10x, you're way better off charging yourself more rent because you're going to get it's going to be the rent that if you charge yourself 200,000 in rent, um and versus charging yourself 100,000, right? It takes away 600,000 from the business, right? But you've
so
created $1 million in value and you have that $400,000 spread. So as much as you can justify charging yourself in rent, it's a no-brainer to do it.
just
But
pause you for a moment. So for folks, if you're listening, right? So what Eli is saying is if the real estate trades for 10 times, like a 10 cap, right? So you have $100,000 of rent, that profit's worth $1 million, right? So 100,000 times 10, right? But if the business cash flows is traded at like six, right? So $100,000 of profit in that business is only worth 600,000. Then it obviously makes sense to push as much cash flow as reasonably possible into the real estate side because you're getting someone's paying you 10 times for every dollar of earnings that you're getting there versus paying you six times for a dollar of earnings within uh, the fast food restaurant.
yeah,
Did I explain that correctly,
yeah,
Eli?
that's correct. And in reality, that multiple is higher than 10 times on the real estate. So the spread's even bigger. I just wanted a round number. So we
Yeah,
use we use it 10 times. So,
got it,
I
got it.
think
Okay,
it's a dance because it has to be a rent that your business can actually support. For the next
mm,
buyer has to see, okay, this is the business will support this rent. You can't just go charge yourself 500,000 in rent and think that you're going to sell it for $8 million. That's not good. There's the ceiling there, but as much
Yeah.
as you can justify, you're better off putting it in rent than saving money for the business.
So why you have one. Why not just get a couple? Why 40?
I wanted to do as many as I could in the state of Texas.
Okay.
This brand, I mean, you mentioned Raising Cane's. Lane's is basically the same model as Cane's. Really simple. You can order 2 chicken fingers, 3 chicken fingers, 4 chicken fingers. It actually started 2 years before Cane's, which so it is not a ripoff of Cane's. It started before Cane's. We have spicy tenders that Cane's does not have. We have, I think, 5 or 6 different sauces. And then we have really great milkshakes. There's nothing sweet at Cane's. So there's a few things that we have, but it's an incredibly simple business, and it's taking off. It's going to take off everywhere, but particularly in Texas. It was founded by a couple of A&M students in
Okay.
1994 in College Station, Texas. So that's where it's
Wow.
founded.
Okay.
And it's been like this College Station institution, and they just started franchising a couple years ago.
Got it.
And there's
I
a
mean,
few hundred restaurants sold. And they have, I think they're about to hit 50 open.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. How many do you have open?
I don't have any open yet.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
Our first will open in March. We
March.
have
Okay.
we have 4 real estate acquisitions that are the one that I just gave you an overview of is the best one. We have another one where we paid 2.5 just for the site in San Antonio. It's a hard corner across from an HEB, which is the Texas grocery chain. It was a site that we really wanted to locate our business at. Fine, losing a little money on the real estate to get the location that we want for the business.
Nice. Well, that's great. I mean, like you own the business, you own the operating business into real estate. Just a lot more flexibility on like where you can place it, so you're not like a tenant. Obviously, like if you're a tenant with someone else's building, you kind of have to like listen to them, and they kind of tell you where you are. You have a lot more flexibility.
There's a
to
mix
build
of
out,
both, though.
do it.
Yeah, there's
But
a mix of both. I mean, I'll sell these, so I won't be the landlord.
okay,
I would rather take the capital out of the real estate and reinvest it back into the business. If I have 40 Lane's chicken fingers in Texas, I don't also want to own 40 pieces of real estate. Even if I thought that they would perform well, there's something to diversification and liquidity. Like I'd rather have it in the S&P 500 over time.
okay.
And then we're gonna lease some sites also.
So basically, you're gonna develop it and then sell the real estate to another investor, and then have a lease for X number of years, and then you own the underlying chicken business, chicken restaurant.
Correct. Exactly. And they keep the real estate.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very cool. So
Yeah. So that's how I get the capital out. Like that deal that we just talked about, the two and like I made it for 1.7.
Mm-hmm.
That capital doesn't stay in the business. I go sell it for 2.5. I got that capital out, and I can go build another store.
Got it.
And just keep doing it and selling.
Go ahead. Sorry. How long do you
just
think
keep doing
it
it and selling.
40? How long do you think? How long do you think?
We did 10 years in the agreement, but my hope would be that we're well on our way in 3 or 4 years, and we're buying new territory with the brand. And
Nice.
there's nothing. Texas is sold out, but maybe we'll go to Oklahoma or Kansas or who knows, something around there.
Come to Tennessee. That's where I have all my.
Come to Tennessee. Yeah.
Come to Sevierville. Come to Knoxville. Come to Sevierville.
I bet it would do very well. Fazoli's, our other brand, does really well in that by the Smoky Mountains. Some of the best Fazoli's.
I really, really like East Tennessee. I'm like, obviously, like we invest there, like that Knoxville, East Tennessee side. I think it's just like, real estate's still relatively inexpensive. It's pretty accessible. There's direct flights now from New York City, for example.
Oh wow.
Into Knoxville. Yeah, I mean it's Newark, so it's not like easy as like JFK or LaGuardia, but I mean it's hour and 30 minutes to Knoxville direct, and I can get to my properties, and the Smokies is like an hour drive. So it's like I think it's like a 9:40 flight. I'm there by 11. I get my rental car, just Starbucks right there, and I'm there by 12:30. So
that's great.
It's a really, really efficient. And like Knoxville has the University of Tennessee. It's like right in the city. It's just like this kind of like small, mid-sized town. It's
have you been to a game yet?
I have not. I need to. I want to.
Yeah, you do.
Actually, it's super random. I don't know why I mean, this is why I had Infinity Tennessee. They were they were good when I was growing up. We didn't have cable when I was growing up, but they were a good SEC team. So they were always on CBS, and I was only the one I
Hmm.
access. So I always watched them on CBS. So I was on affinity towards the University of Tennessee. Now I have to go check out
There
a
you
game,
go.
but no, I really like that area. I really like that area. I think it's a great place to invest. Um, but like I actually want to just circle back. Like you've obviously done well, right? Or I presume you've done well because you
Yeah,
started
it's
at the
been a
right
great
time in
it's
the
been a great
market.
run. Like I said, it was
Why
everybody did
why not everyone? Not everyone.
in our space.
Sure.
If you bought multifamily deals, you did well during that time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But you have a family. You live in a beautiful part of the country. I don't know how good your tennis and golf game are, but most people kind of default to that
Yep.
after they've had a good first act.
Yep.
Why drive around San Antonio right now in West Texas? It's pretty hot versus
Yeah.
working on your handicap.
My golf game is mediocre would be a generous term to describe my golf game. I do like it; it's fun, but it's actually been probably more fun to be unable to play golf more than maybe once a month these days. I'm much happier like that. I am not wired to just sit on my hands, and there's nothing better than learning, and I'm learning a ton in this business and dealing with and working with just much different people and now we're building something and I'm really excited about it.
Was there like a spark? I mean, like obviously, like you understood real estate. You have the capital. You have the time now as you said about multifamily investing right now. Just not a great time. I'm sure it'll change. These things are all cyclical. At some point, it'll make more sense to lean back into that. But was
Yeah.
there something like in your research or network, like there's you kind of could have done anything, right?
Yep.
Why I guess what led you to combine, what led you to lanes?
Yeah, I'll try to
What led you to
blitz
Lubbock,
through it.
Texas?
Yeah, well, I started looking for other asset classes of real estate to invest in, just thinking, okay, I can't outperform in multi, can I do it in commercial? Because as we talked about earlier, like I think you can outperform in commercial. I don't think I'm the guy to do it. I don't think I have the skills and the network to go and buy commercial real estate, put the right tenants in, and outperform there. Thought about it. Don't think that's me. I got the idea to go out and look and potentially buy an operating business, and I started looking in construction because that's more of my background. We've done development, we've done very heavy renovations. Um, uh, sorry.
No
Um,
worries.
so
No worries.
yeah, so we've done very heavy renovations, and God, sorry, my wife just walked in screaming on the phone.
No worries.
But yeah, so that was my background. I started looking on Biz Buy Sell, looking for a business to buy. And I came upon this portfolio of Dunkin' Donuts stores that were on military bases.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no interest in fast food, um, but a portfolio on military base. Sorry, sorry, Mike. I'm gonna walk right here. We're gonna do this live. Okay.
No worries, man.
Ah, so outside. So this will be a new one for you. It's what happens when you have somebody on your podcast that has a Jewish wife. They get kicked out of the room. Um,
You're lucky. You're lucky. You're still home, dude.
I
You're not
am
even
lucky.
far.
She should have kicked me out of the house. But yes, sorry about that. So yeah, so portfolio of Dunkin' stores on military bases, and I just thought, look, this is an incredible moat. Like, there's no competition on these
Yeah.
bases. I want to understand this business. And this guy was in the Air Force. He loved Dunkin' and basically was like, when I get out of the Air Force, I'm going to put a Dunkin' on every base. And he went out and he did it. And he was based in Colorado Springs. And we have, as we talked about, a lot of apartments in Denver. So I'm out that way all the time. And I went and Spent time with him, spent a day in the Springs, learned about his business, and I really wanted to buy it. He ended up selling it to an existing franchisee instead of me. He was worried about me getting approved by Dunkin'. But it just opened this can of worms, and I was so interested in fast food, or QSRs as we call them, and I started doing the same thing that you would do if you were underwriting a new market on the real estate side. So I looked at any package of QSRs that was available on the market. I signed the NDA. I underwrote them all. I wanted to see how they operated. Then I wanted to understand what they traded for so I could value them. And I did that for months. I talked to anybody that I could. I listened to any podcasts that I could. I just kept learning and learning and learning. And this portfolio of Fazoli's in West Texas came on the market. I had never heard of Fazoli's, and I had never been to West Texas. I signed the NDA just to underwrite it like I did every other deal. And what was different about this one was this was the top franchisee in the Fazoli system, over 200 stores. They'd been in business for over 20 years. Director of ops who built the business, been there for, the whole thing, 20. Here, Mike. Still there? All right. Yeah.
Hey,
So,
man, this is the good stuff, dude. Hey guys, if you're listening, this is the good stuff. Go ahead.
yeah. Yeah. So he'd been with the business for over 25 years, two director of ops that had been with the business for 20 years, which is a huge team for just 6 restaurants.
Yeah.
But an experienced and extremely successful team. 4 of the 6 general managers in the restaurants had been there for over 15 years. So they really run these well. The retention was great. And so it was just this really high quality team. Pricing was great. I paid a 3.5 times multiple, including all G&A. And, kind of as mentioned, it was like, well, this G&A is built to scale. So I want to take this incredible team and scale it. And I want to find another brand to do it with. And met with a lot of different brands and was super impressed with Lane's.
Nice.
So that's how we got there.
No, it's cool. I wish I wish I started with that because that's a really cool story. And I think that's just like for anyone listening right now, you're probably really interested in real estate. Probably more so just interested in a business that you can develop for yourself. Now, for me, I did it short-term rentals. Obviously, took a different tack than Eli, but it's the same kind of thing. You find something that you're interested in. You're just maniacal about understanding and figuring it out, and every single angle that you have there, whether you listen to podcasts, you're underwriting deals, you're flying out to Colorado Springs and networking with people. It's just the same process, and just you have to like love it and want to do it. And as we kind of tell my clients, like as they're looking for short-term rentals to buy, like you just keep looking, and the more you look, the more that when the right one comes, you'll know, because you've seen so much already. You're like, this is the one. Right? Whether it's the people, it's the team, like whatever it is, there's just like, this is different. And you just have to have enough reps to take a look at and see that this is different. And if you don't do the reps, you're just not going to know. You look at 1 or 2 deals, like whatever, right? But you look at 20 deals, it's like, okay, that one that pops up, you're like, oh, this is the one. And you want to move quickly. And you also have the conviction to move quickly because you really can understand that. And you have conviction in yourself that you've done the work. So it's really cool. I love that you shared that story. I think it's, of
course,
it really speaks to entrepreneurship and like successful entrepreneurship. Right?
Yeah. I mean, what percentage of deals do you do that come across your desk?
We probably looked at just for myself, the last deal that we bought, we probably looked at like 40, 50. I mean, we have a Google sheet in every tab. There's like 40, 50 deals, but that one that we saw, the last one that we bought, it was crappy iPhone photos from the agent because the seller was really cheap. Great guy, but just like very cheap. And would only paid like a very, very small commission to the selling agent. So they didn't go and do any marketing. She literally took some pictures on her phone. But we had looked at enough where we knew, once we said, we're like, hey, wait a minute, this is different. And then we saw the pictures. They were like crappy iPhone photos. So we were like, oh, wait, like this is actually good. And we looked. And then we went up there the next day. We saw it. And we made an offer that day. And this is over a weekend. They had another offer. We beat the offer and we bought it. And, a year and a half later, it's done really well from a cash flow perspective, 20+%. and their real estate's appreciated probably like 25% since then, just because the market continues to move with bonus depreciation. So,
Yeah, and you had the
you know,
conviction from
it,
saying no so many times to bid to win. That was the
bit to
time to
win.
step up, beat out the other offer. You don't, but if you hadn't, you wouldn't do that unless you had rejected
It,
that many deals.
it was listed at 995. The other one was full price. We ended up the deal was like we would buy all the existing furniture for like another 4K. The other party wouldn't do it, or maybe they did, but I think they liked us because we came up there the next day and they meant
Yeah,
us, and we sat there and talked to them. We brought our secret weapon up there, which is my daughter in her stroller, and brought it up, and and then they were like grandparents, and they gave her like a little teddy bear. Obviously, that's $1 million teddy bear because we still have it.
that's right.
And yeah, I think there was like it might have been a jump. It might have been a jump ball, to be fair. I think that we came up there and we made a real offer, and they kind of saw us and were like, okay, these are real people. We won the deal. So
Yep.
there's also nothing like showing up and just
Yeah,
like meeting someone and being like, hey, we're this it's an offer letter, but we're also real people, and we want to buy this because we want to buy this, and we will stand behind what we say. And I think that in the end carried a lot of weight. So
absolutely
sorry
it
to hear
did.
that.
That's great.
All right, man. I don't want I don't want you to get in trouble with your wife any longer. So I'll let you get back in there.
You let me come back
Hey,
in the
Eli,
house.
now it's really great to catch up with you. Eli and I have known Jennifer again for a very, very long time. I think the last time we saw each other was like Chai's wedding, maybe.
No, what was you were in Mill Valley? You were starting this business.
I think we were on the phone. Oh yeah, no, but I was.
No, you can.
Oh,
We had coffee.
we had, oh, that's right. We did have coffee. No, you're right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, oh yeah, we did have coffee. Man, that was dude. After kids, like you don't remember anything. Like
Yep. Same
everything was
boat.
a blur.
Yep.
No, but hey, Eli, for folks that are interested in learning more about what you're doing, what's the best way for we can leave it in the show notes. What's the best way for people to
LinkedIn.
reach out to you? LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, as we just talked about it. I'm using LinkedIn for the first time in my career.
I know. I was shocked to see that you had posted about the business in LinkedIn. So hey, look, guys, we'll link Eli's LinkedIn URL in the podcast. So if you are interested in QSRs, if you're a real estate investor, if this is something that you're curious about, follow Eli and send him a connection request. I'm sure he'll reach back out to you. Eli, thanks again for telling the story. Really, really, really enjoyed it.
I did as well. Great to catch up with you.
Okay. So folks, if you enjoyed this episode and you like these stories and want to hear more, please definitely leave a comment and subscribe. And again, please share it with family or a friend who's also interested in real estate investing. This has been a great episode. I think a lot of people would get a lot of value from it. So please do share. And thank you again for listening. All right, Eli. So stay put. I'll let it record and upload.